Hi, everybody. My name is Tanya Reynolds. I'm the program director for the Learning for Success program. And I'm very pleased to introduce to you Tron Lippett from Broward College. Tron is just an amazing and outstanding community leader. He is the Assistant Director of Enrollment Management at Broward College and just bursting with passion. How are you, Tron?
I am well, Tanya. How are you?
I am good. So, we feature people who are doing great things in the community, and you sent me some information which I think is absolutely fascinating. So I want to just go ahead and dive right in. My first question is, you say that giving back to the community is one thing that absolutely motivates you. So we're going to take a journey with Tron on his story, his pathways to success, how he got into this field at Broward College, what he does, and also 3 things that truly motivate him, that make him into the person he is today. And Tron says, there is no success without support. He says before he knew his pathway, there were members of the community that were championing him every step of the way and guiding him through obstacles and pushing him when he stalled. Tron, can you share a little bit more about giving back to the community, and why does that motivate you so much?
Yes, certainly. So I can remember as young as 8, 9, 10 years old, having my mother, my aunt, my father, members of my church, by the way, man of faith here, having them in my corner, just encouraging me, whatever it was that I was interested in at the time, encouraging me to pursue it and encouraging me to pursue it wholeheartedly. And my aunt in particular, I won't say her name, but one of my aunts, just took me by the hand and got me involved in the local community, whether it was politics, whether it was faith, religion, education, and just exposed me to so many different opportunities and learning experiences. And I said, wow, she cares this much about my future that she wants to give me as much exposure as possible. Okay. And I just took that and kind of kept that in the back of my mind. And I said, all right, moving forward, you need to do the same thing. You need to take somebody that's younger than you, who's aspiring, take them and expose them, make sure that they have the same kinds of opportunities and viewpoints that you had. So from a young age, I understood the importance of community support and giving back. And I knew that it was critical to our movement, in terms of bettering ourselves and moving forward as people, as one.
So that seems like it's part of your mission in life to, move forward as one with the community. And I can tell you that I know that there are students that we serve in our population here at Learning for Success that don't have any support. They are pretty much on their own. And it is our mission as well to come alongside these individuals, these young people, second grade all the way through high school and maybe beyond, and really partner with them, someone that supports and can mentor them and just really be a source of encouragement for them. So that's an amazing thing that you say that motivates you, gets you up out of bed every day. The second thing that you say is, hindsight, no one ever told me, quote, if I knew then what I knew now. And you say that whenever you end your workshops with, youth-focused presentations, you always end with the following statement that says, now you can no longer say, no one ever told you. What does that mean to you, and why is that so important for you to share that with kids and students?
Certainly. So all too often, I hear peers my age, maybe even older, some close to my age, maybe a little bit younger. I hear them say, if I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't be in the position I'm in today. And
Right.
and I've reached a certain point in life where I'm just tired of hearing it. I'm tired of hearing that phrase, because it's unfortunate, number one, but it shouldn't exist in the first place. Number two, most importantly, it shouldn't exist because there are way too many people who have power, who are in positions of power that can help their brothers, their sisters, pick them up and say, hey, you're heading in the wrong direction, turn around, do a 180 and head this direction. So all that simply means is I want to do away with that kind of mindset and that experience, or the result of not having access or having, a lack of access. And how do we do that? Well, we do that by engaging the community, which starts with the first point that you mentioned earlier, giving back to the community. That's our way of pulling each other up and bringing each other along for the ride. When you split that word community in half, you have com and unity. Com is, in the Latin sense, would be with. So the community is doing everything with unity, togetherness. Everything you do has to be together, and for the one cause. So, when I say in hindsight, I want to look back in hindsight and say, I did everything I was supposed to do to help my brothers and sisters, which in return benefited me, not only physically, but mentally, and then of course, in terms of my faith, and which is the most important thing to me, making sure that I maintain faith in everything I do. So I hope that wasn't a long roundabout answer.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, that's awesome. I'm going to remember that. So community is calm and unity, and that is our responsibility. And it's almost like it's our social responsibility as individuals, not just to exist here and every man for themselves and have this almost me, selfish sort of way of life, but always giving back. And I feel like, sometimes people, young and, old, in all walks of life and in any age group, will say that, no one ever told me, or I didn't know. And they sometimes use that as an excuse because they just don't want to try. But, I do agree, and I completely support that we should eradicate those statements. We have enough resources for people to know, and there should be no reason for them to ever say no one ever told me, because they were told.
And Tanya, if I can add to that, the old adage is you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. Well, one thing is you can train that horse to drink, but if the horse doesn't interpret what you've given them, then they won't drink. In the same regards, or in reference to that, you can teach people how to fish and how to become fishers of men, but it's up to them to continue to teach others and continue fishing. So if I've given you the tools, if I've given you the fishing rod, the bait, and I've pointed out the ponds to go to, and you decide not to fish, well, then that's on you. But as long as I've given you those tools and I've trained you and I've taught you to the best of my ability, then I've done my job. You can no longer say, no one ever told you.
I love that. That's beautiful and well said. Thank you so much for that. That's an encouragement too. Now, the third thing that gets you up out of bed, which I think is the first thing that gets you out of bed, is that you say is you're a man of faith. And I can connect with you 100% on that. And I can almost sense and feel that is very important. And your heart and your walk is of the utmost, priority. So speak a little bit about how that has played into who you are today, and how you use your faith to be a platform for the community to serve and truly be a servant, because I feel that Tron Lippett is a leader, but also a follower and a true servant at heart.
Big follower, big time follower. They say don't be a follower. Well, it all depends on who you're following, and the one that I choose to follow is an amazing leader, an amazing example, and was also a follower here on earth. I know we can't dive too much into religion, and I respect all of the viewpoints of religions. I'm just excited about mine. So don't. Okay, anyway. So when it comes to my church upbringing, we'll talk about that. Church is yet another example of, here comes that key word, community. It's another example of people coming together, like-minded individuals coming together to do a service or services. And I learned that at an early age, the importance of coming together. They say it takes a village. I mean, it really does. And in my case, it took a church. The church was my village, aside from my family. So when I came together and I saw how they were pouring into myself and other youth, I said, wow, these folks really care, or at least they're putting up a big front. But they weren't though. It was genuine. Right. Even to this day, individuals who helped train us when I was 4 or 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, to see them now and to see them just sit back and just, look at the work that they've done and the good work that they did years ago. It blesses them so, and it blesses me, because those individuals tried their hardest to push me and tried their hardest to pour into us. So that whole point of community and togetherness started for me in the church and with my family at home. I'm lucky enough to say that I had a mother and a father at home. I didn't have my father for many years. He was taken from me at an early age, but he left behind many lessons and taught me enough to live the rest of my life without him being here physically. But my mother stayed in, and she stayed in the fight and continued to push, continued to guide. So I had that at home. But, you know, when you're growing up, Tanya, you leave the house at what, 6, 7, 8 in the morning, and you don't come back until 2 or 3 o'clock. What happens during that window is critical. You know, what happens during those school hours are critical. And it's teachers, it's members of the church, and it's folks that continued to pour in me when I wasn't at home, when I needed that pouring into, when I needed that substance. That's what the church brought to me. Aside from that, just faith in general, understanding what true faith is, what it means to walk by faith and not by sight. I know I'm going somewhere else, but you just got to stay with me here. Because oftentimes we don't see the danger coming. We don't see the trouble coming. We don't see the enemy. We don't know where the enemy is. But it doesn't matter where the enemy is, because as long as you close your eyes and trust in the one that you believe in, everything's all right. All right. So I can't
Well
go,
said.
you know, we have to be respectful of all religions. And I'm just excited about mine. But, you know, faith has brought me a long way. Without faith, I wouldn't be here at all.
Fantastic. Awesome. Beautiful. And thank you for sharing that. So let's change gears a little bit now to, you know, careers. So talk a little bit about your career pathway and how you got to Broward College. You know, our viewers are young people, second grade through middle school, high school, and, you know, young adults. What was your career pathway like, and how did you get to become the Assistant Director of Enrollment Management at Broward College?
Certainly. So growing up, second, third grade, fourth grade, I wanted to be a scientist. I loved beakers. I loved chemistry. I loved mixing. I loved coming up with new creations. Science was my world. I lived it day in and day out. At a certain age, I came to the realization that I just wasn't understanding math well enough, and a lot of science is based and centered around math. And unfortunately, and I'll probably get to this in another point, but unfortunately, I didn't push myself enough to understand math at that early of an age. So side note, if you're struggling with math, or if math is a challenge, get it out the way now. Find a love for it, because you're going to need it in life, period. You're going to need it. Math is here to stay. Numbers rule the world, right?
Sure, for
Time stops for no man, and time is filled with numbers. So just think about that. But yeah, so I ran into that realization, and I said, okay, well, I'm starting to discover new talents and gifts. And one of those gifts was clearly my ability to talk,
Of
and
course.
hopefully not ramble. But you know, I discovered that you know, somewhere around middle school, and I said, okay, well, there's got to be something more to this than just talking. There, I should be speaking with a purpose and speaking with substance. And again, family, church, faith helped me understand the meaning of substance. So once I graduated high school, I went to college, and I chose the major public communications. I said, okay, well, this kind of fits, but I'm still not sure what career path to head in. But I know I enjoy teaching. I know I enjoy guiding. I know I enjoy imparting my wisdom on others, the little bit that I have. So I said, well, what avenue allows me to do that? And the first thing that came to mind was post-secondary education. I said, okay, post-secondary education involves the two major age groups. It involves youth and it involves adults, because before you become an adult, you have to start off with youth, and you move into adulthood most of the time during your post-secondary career. So I said, okay, well, this is great. And I started looking for opportunities in post-secondary institutions. I said, well, I don't know what I want to do here, but I know I want to do something. So I started off as an academic advisor. That gave me the love and passion to assist people, and taught me how to do that. And just opportunity after opportunity continued to arise. And it wasn't until I started at Broward College where I found my I guess you could say my home base, in a place where I could work from, because I'm a native here of Broward County. I've always wanted to give back. Obviously, I mentioned that before. So why not give back and get paid for it? So it made sense to me. I got this position, side note, based on networking. A friend of mine who I had met in college, and I don't mind telling my age, back in 2002, class of '02, I met a good friend of mine at college, and I ended up switching from UCF, University of Central Florida, to Valencia Community College, and met this young lady, and we partnered together on tons of events at Valencia Community College. And when you know it, 12 years later, I applied for a position at Broward College. It just so happened she was the manager. She remembered me from Valencia Community College, and she said, yep, you're hired. So students out there, make sure you're networking even now, because you never know when that network is going to pay off.
Absolutely. Networking is the key. It's like the keys. It's one of the keys to success in your career pathway, for sure.
Exactly.
Okay, this is another question that is very powerful and means a lot to a lot of people. So have you ever experienced, you know, in your pathways, in your walk, from you were a young person to now, any experiences with prejudice, discrimination, racism? What was your story like? How did you manage that? How did you cope with it? And how did you overcome it?
So most definitely, and this is I'm happy to say that this is a topic of discussion
Yes,
nowadays, and I love hearing about this kind of stuff because we need to put it out there. We need to put it on the table.
for sure.
So I attended Plantation Park Elementary School. My mother actually taught there for many years, and at the time, Plantation Park Elementary was I don't know 90% non-black. So
Mhm.
I stood out. Let's just say that. And I remember a particular story. I'll never forget it. I was in the fifth grade, and I guess I kind of had a crush on a young lady, and she dropped her little milk carton. So she was sitting next to me, and I reached down. It fell under the table. I reached down to pick up the milk carton. As I was holding on to the table so I wouldn't fall, I mistakenly grabbed her hand. And when I grabbed her hand, I heard, "Well, what is this?" I heard, "Ill, what is this black thing on my hand?" And I heard that, and I'm like, okay, I'm confused because I'm doing you a favor. I'm picking this milk carton, right? And I'm giving you the milk carton, and I was met with just total disgust. Like, I
Oh,
didn't need you to do that. That's
mm,
one small example. You know, some other teachers showed me their true hand when I was in elementary school. I was blamed for a lot of things I had nothing to do with, wasn't even near the problem. So I experienced that at a young age, and also moving forward in my personal, you know, in my career. Um, Thankfully not here at Broward College because we're so diverse, but in previous institutions, absolutely, absolutely, just being looked over because you didn't know the right person, and just for obvious reasons, the people who knew each other kind of looked alike. So it's something that I've dealt with my entire life, and many of us do.
of
The
course.
key thing is going back to your faith, knowing that through faith you'll be able to get through all of these things. That's number one, and number two, just positioning yourself in a point where, or to a place where you can navigate through the systemic racism because
Mm,
it's there. Driving
mhm,
while black, that's happened, and I can give you example after example. But it's by faith that I've been able to get through it, and it's just understanding what we're dealing with. You have to understand that
mm,
people just aren't going to think the same way you do.
mhm.
That's just a fact.
Absolutely,
They're
I
not going to
agree.
think the same way you are, and for that reason, you have to be understanding. You have to be forgiving, especially if you want to make this thing work.
Yeah, I feel like I completely agree, and I understand all of those experiences. And I feel like, you know, as young people, they are learning this and experiencing it for the first time because they're still, you know, in young in their pathway. And the one thing that I feel it's very important is they have to find this innate drive to persevere, that word persevere, and push through these adversities because that's what's going to shape them and mold them into being a better person. So these challenges and obstacles we overcome can do one of two things. It can make you or break you. And
Break you.
young people have this choice that they need to take to make these experiences shape them and make them into greatness and not break them. And I see too often situations where it breaks kids, it breaks people. And we've all had cases in our lives where things have happened and things have been done to us and we've been hurt, and it breaks us. And we probably even form barriers and walls and put up masks on our, you know, and feel as if we can't go there and almost feel as if it's a traumatic experience. And then feel as if life has dealt us a bad hand when we should be taking that experience and grow from it, learn from it, and become a leader as a result of it. So I love how you said that. And I think it's very important for young people to know that this is an important issue that we cannot, you know, overlook.
And you know, you mentioned putting up walls. One thing about it is this: life is going to put walls in front of you regardless. There's no need for you to add an extra wall in front of you or around you.
Mm,
Don't box yourself in more than life's going to try to box you in.
mhm.
You know, the person of faith will tell you there is a such thing as a breakthrough. But in order to
Yeah.
break through, you have to have something in front of you to break through. You
Absolutely.
know, so once that wall has been placed in front of you, once that challenge is in front of you, that's cool. It just means that
Mhm.
there's a reward on the other side. It just means
Yeah.
there's a cause for celebration on the other side. So as you mentioned, Tanya, just keep pushing. I once heard somebody say the acronym PUSH, push until something happens. So you just got to
Mm.
keep pushing. Every new day is a new
Oh,
opportunity. Today isn't your last day. Once you wake up in the morning, you have another opportunity. So
yes.
whatever happens today, it'll be history in
It's
a matter of seconds. Keep pushing.
absolutely. And it's a journey, it's a process, and we need to enjoy that process. So the next question is also very powerful. It's very relevant with what's going on right now in 2021. But a lot of people, young people, are facing pressures at school because of this pandemic. Homework pressures, they're not understanding what's going on. A lot of them are at home still. They have no support from anyone at home, and they are left up to themselves to learn or probably even look after younger siblings. The pressures of school, elementary, middle, high school, homework, you know, state exams, assessments, it continues in the face of this pandemic. And a lot of students are feeling as if, you know, their goals and dreams that they once had, especially those seniors in high school, are dashed, you know, shattered, gone. And a lot of them feel as if they want to drop out. And we have seen, and there's some statistics where enrollment in tertiary level institutions have fallen, you know, significantly because enrollment is not where it used to be. So what word of encouragement do you have for that young adult, 7 years old, 15 years old, you know, 18 years old, that wants to just give up right now and drop out? What would you say?
So I hope you have about an hour. Grab your Snickers bar. Um, I would say a few things. Number one, um, those of you that are going through these issues, first of all, I can't imagine what it's like. I've always been in the classroom. So for those of you that are going through this remote period, first of all, you have my thoughts, my prayers go out to you. But just think of it this way. Who else is going to be primed for adversity more than those of you that are going through this?
Mm,
And everyone that's in these, you know, working from home right now and you know, taking classes from behind a laptop, who's going to be more primed for adversity? Who's going to be able to handle obstacles better than y'all? Y'all are
mm,
going to be champions when this is all said and done. I think about bodybuilders and how often they work out. You know, they put themselves through a lot of strain and stress, but then the results at the end, the results are powerful, right? So you're
mm.
going through this strain and stress right now, but don't worry. When you come out of this, y'all are going to be rock stars. There's nothing that's going to be in your way to stop you. If you can make it through this, come on, y'all can make it through anything. I've never been through a global pandemic before, but I've never been in school at a developmental stage and had to deal with this. Y'all are dealing with it now. So all I can tell you is think about the future. Better days are ahead of you, and you will be able to handle anything else that's thrown your way. That's number one. Number two,
Mm,
don't remain silent.
mm,
Please. It's silencing enough that you have to work outside of your school. It's silencing enough that you have to work outside of classrooms. You have teachers, you have staff, you have guidance counselors. So many of us are here. We understand what's happening, or at least we have an idea of what you're going through. Let your voice be heard. Please, if you need to vent, if you need to cry, if you need to yell and scream, get it out. But do not hold that in. That's the worst thing you can do, because that is a sign of surrendering. That's a sign of giving up when you hold all of that in. Let it out. Go to mom and dad, go to your auntie, go to anyone you need to go to and speak your mind. Let us know what you're going through. That's the only way we're going to be able to help you. So that's
mm.
another thing I would say. You have help, even if it seems like you don't, because you're all alone. You're behind that laptop. Mom's gone to work. Dad's gone to work. Brothers and sisters in other rooms working. When they come home, let them know. Let them know your frustration. All right. And we will do all we can as adults to assist you. But please let your voice be heard. So just know, number one, you'll be able to get through anything else after this. If you can make it through this, of course you can get through anything else. Number two, let your voice be heard. Number three, I'll say this, and to some it may make sense, to some it may not. Use this opportunity as a chance to grow and prepare for your blessing. Okay.
Mm,
Some of us aren't prepared for our blessing. So use this as an opportunity to prepare for that. When you go back to school, what are you going to do differently than when you did last year? For my 11th graders, what are you going to do if next year you're able to go back to high school as a 12th grader? how can you manage yourself differently in 12th grade as opposed to your 10th and 9th grade year? So get ready for the return, because it's coming one day. It's coming.
I love that. That's just, I couldn't have said it better. I think it's important for our young people to hear this and to know that it's okay to cry. It's okay to come home after when mom and dad come home and just cry, let it out, and push. You had said push until something happens. That's very relevant right now, because I see this generation as not a lost generation, but a generation of champions and leaders and people that can rise above if they make that choice to, you know, push through these adversities and make it happen for them. So yes, for sure. These are champions that we're raising up.
And you know, Tanya, really quick, I look at the Great Depression, and you look at individuals that lived through the Great Depression. These individuals lived to be 80, 90, 100. I mean, you know, we're now seeing some of them move on, but they lived to go long and deep into their lives. I wonder why that is, because they understood how to get through adversity. They were primed for that. So,
for sure,
ladies and gentlemen, you guys are primed for it.
For sure. Okay, last two questions. How important is goal setting to succeed in school? A lot of kids don't know what they want. You know, they feel like they say, I'm just a kid, I'm just 8 years old, 10 years old. I don't even know what I want to do when I grow up. But they still need to form some sort of goals, you know. How important is goal setting, and what can they do now? Name one or two things they can do now to find their goal.
Sure. So the first thing you can do is not worry about 20, 30 years from now if you don't know what you want to do yet. Think about tomorrow. Think about what's coming tomorrow. Make a goal for tomorrow. Start practicing goal setting. That's the first thing you can do. Practice it. Exercise what it means to set a goal and accomplish that goal. Because once you accomplish it, it's going to become like something that you desire all day long. You want to start accomplishing more goals. So set a goal for tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow's goal is I'm going to write an essay that's 100 words, 500 words, and I'm going to talk about what I experienced last week or what I experienced today. Practice goal setting. That's number one. Number two, the importance of goal setting. Nothing was built without a plan. Nothing.
Like
Kapow wasn't built without a plan. Okay, we weren't built without a plan. I can take that down a whole other road there. You know, but nothing was built without a plan. The device that you're using right now, whether it's a MacBook, whether it's an iPhone, it started off as an idea. That idea then became a goal. Now we have an idea of what we want. Let's make it a goal to attain it. So begin understanding what it means to plan. Plan your day. You can start by the simple things. What are you going to do when you wake up in the morning? All right, for my elementary students, you're going to brush your teeth. You're going to, you know, you're going to make your bed. Those are steps of planning. So start planning now. And then for those of you who are older, start creating these goals that you can accomplish every day. And once you accomplish one, it's just going to be a domino effect. You're going to want to do it over and over and over again because it feels great to accomplish goals. I have tons of more goals in front of me that I'm going to accomplish. Listen to what I just said, that I'm going to accomplish. So also know that you can complete it. But yeah, start practicing those goals, exercise it, and start planning. Plan your day. Make it simple. Simple, easy, attainable plans.
And that is something that can go for adults too, because sometimes they feel as if they're kind of just waffling and they don't really know, even with the pandemic. But it's, you know, baby steps. Plan your goals for today, and it's okay if you don't know what your goal is for the next year or two. Small steps can grow into larger steps. Great. Okay, Tron, what does Tron Lippett want to be known for when he leaves this planet? What is your legacy?
My legacy is that I was a man of faith and I did everything according to my faith, and that I did good work for my community. And as long as I'm known for that, I'm good to go. That's it. It's that simple. It's that simple. I was a man of faith. This is what faith can do for you. So if you want some of this, and if you want more, then go get you some faith. That's what I love that.
Couldn't have said it any better than you did, Tron. Well, thank you so much for spending time with us. I learned a lot. I learned community is community. Push until something happens. Don't be silent. Always, you know, it's okay to cry and keep pushing through those ceilings and don't build up any walls or barriers for yourselves.
Don't do it. There's enough out there already.
Thank you so much. Well, I've had a blast spending time with you. Thank you for this amazing talk. We will see you guys next time for another installment of Learning from Success, where we bring you incredible leaders from the community that will share their story and encourage you and just keep you going and, you know, share what they have to share and bring you to another level of greatness. So thank you so much. We'll see you all next time. Bye.